Hey YouTube world, it's me, Evelyn's Hens. Peace and blessings. Just wanted to show y'all how I'm finna set up my bullet journal for April. A couple of things have changed since my previous bullet journal video, just figuring out what works and what doesn't and what's the point of anything ever, alright? But of course, the first step is to caress the pages. Okay, just give them a good rub down. I traced everything in pencil beforehand, and we're starting with the monthly calendar spread. The only consistent artistic theme throughout the year is going to be these bubble letters that I'm doing, so I'm just using this pen to outline the calendar, starting with the month, of course. Happy April, everybody. The first quarter of the year is done. We are 3 months into 2020, and send it back. Okay, what's the return policy on a calendar year? Okay. I don't want it anymore. Actually, myself, I had 2020 on layaway anyway, so I think I'm just gonna stop making payments. Anyway, I would see people doing full calendars like this, and I always thought it was so stupid because you could just get a planner, which is technically still true. But I also realized I hate most planners because I always need more space each day than they give for a day. So I think what works best for me is having a full calendar like this and then blank pages for everything else. But until I figure out if that actually exists already printed, I'ma just have to draw them myself. Okay, so now I'm gonna do an art. It's time to do an art. And I enjoy collage as an art form. One of my favorite artists is Deborah Roberts, and she does some amazing collage work. If you want to check her out, this will be nothing like that. I cut some strips of paper out of a magazine. This is the magazine. It's great for patterns, which is why I bought it back in January when we were all doing vision boards like we was gonna be out the house enjoying life. So naive. We was wrong. We was so wrong. I'm gluing these down, arranging them in a way that pleases me, okay? And besides the stress of filming myself, I actually hate filming myself, this is pretty relaxing to just zone out and do this. Collage is kind of like a puzzle, but there's no right answer, which I enjoy. I just added a little drop shadow box to the days of the week, colored it in, and filled in the dates using some markers, and voila, April's calendar. So when I set up my March spread, I realized it was better to have a full calendar instead of the smaller ones that I did for January and February. Those small calendars weren't helpful because I realized I don't need to write down an event on paper. Like I don't need to write down the places I need to be. I use Google Calendar for those. But I do need a place to chart out the processes and steps and to-do list tasks involved in completing the tasks that I write in my brain dump section over here. So that's why in March I changed it up and did a full calendar spread with enough space to write down everything I need to do in order to hit my deadlines. Oh, and to everyone who suggested that I get those friction erasable pens, I did get them, and they're actually very helpful because now when I write down my little tasks in the monthly calendar, when things change and deadlines shift, I can just erase and, move it to the correct date. So now we move on to the page where I brain dump. And this is just a list of all the things I have to do in April. It's super simple, just a little title at the top, and at the bottom of the page, I used to have a little section for goals, like the monthly things I could do to hit my yearly goals. You know what I'm saying? One step at a time, you feel me? But we're not doing that this month, okay? Goals are overrated. How about that? So instead, I'm gonna do a little doodle, okay, with a quote that's become my mantra this year. Don't be afraid to be seen trying. I'm coloring in the doodle with a mixture of markers and colored pencils, and I actually hated the way the little mountain climber man turned out, so I just colored it all black, and now he looked like a ninja. So moving on to my habit tracker. I'm trying something new this month, kind of combining a format I attempted in March with the original habit tracker from Ryder Carroll, the creator of the bullet journal. So I'm dividing this calendar out by week, so every 7 days, and then numbering the dates and days of the month down the left side of the page. Last month, I tracked habits on my monthly calendar using dots in different colors to represent different habits I'm trying to form. And every day I'd put a dot on the day if I drank water or took a walk or whatever it was I was trying to do to feel like a decent human being. In March, I also tracked my sleep. Since February, my sleep was all over the place. I was uploading a lot more videos than I normally do, so I didn't really sleep well that month. And so in March, I was trying to just track my sleep and get a better grip on what sleep was for me, and that's cool or whatever, but what's the point of tracking if you can't also document why you did or didn't do the habit, or not documenting why I didn't sleep well? So I didn't learn anything solely by tracking these habits. But this format that I'm trying for April allows me to indicate completion of a habit on a daily scale, but also write a little sentence about what happened that day to make the habit easy or difficult to do. I can also talk about sleep in this section. Next spread is a really basic reflection type spread. This is where I journal about what happened last month and what I hope for the coming month. This is what it looked like in March. See that quote, "Don't be afraid to be seen trying," is coming up for me. Okay, it's coming to the top. So I'm just repeating that for April's setup. It's really simple, just some bubble letters and a little drop shadow box colored in. And finally for April, I'm setting up my first week. I start off every week, no matter if it's at the top of the page or the middle of the page. Wherever I naturally start a week is where I'll write my top 3. I got the top 3 from H1n On Demand here on YouTube, and it's basically like, what are my top 3 priorities this week? I just write them down, and it really helps me focus. It helps me prioritize what's actually important versus self-imposed stress. And then, because I'm a relentless dreamer, I have this little section for things I'd like to do this week. You know, which of my extrovert friends should I FaceTime? Who do I need to donate to because folks been laid off? Which closet am I finna declutter if I want to get off the couch? If I want to get off the couch. All that goes here. And I know that April starts in the middle of the week on a Wednesday, but we starting fresh, okay? Throw the whole March away. And then I quickly write down the date and the day so that I can put my daily to-do list there. And I add a little sticky thing to mark the new month for easy access when I'm flipping back and forth. And that's it. Now that April's been set up, I'm gonna go back to my index, which is the bullet journal's table of contents, and I'll write down where April begins so I can reference that later. Then I'm gonna revisit my future log, which I still don't really get the point of, but I decided to use it to document my travel this year, which is canceled, okay? That gig got canceled, that gig also got canceled. That was a vacation. We're not gonna go there anymore probably. And my cousin KK's graduation ceremony probably gonna be canceled too. So next, I'm gonna ignore my goals. We're not gonna too much address my alleged dreams. Instead, I wanted to tell y'all that I'm compiling all of your anthem suggestions from my first bullet journal video into a playlist that I will send out in my email newsletter. So just visit the link in my video description box to sign up. It is a private playlist for my email cousins. I still haven't chosen my 2020 anthem because what is this year? So I decided to go back to that video, compile all of your suggestions, and I've just been listening to it, trying to see if something, bubbles in my spirit. So that'll be included in April's email newsletter. And then moving over to my gratitude page, when I'm alone and feeling pensive, I'm not gonna fill this out now, I will later fill in what I'm grateful for in April. Balance. Moving on, I made a video about my overwhelmed reset routine and y'all really seem to like it. Thanks! If you missed it, I'll link it here in the atmosphere in the video description box. Next, I'll quickly fill in all the shows I've been watching. Little Fires Everywhere, Tiger King, which wasn't as wild as people said online. Maybe it's because I'm from the South, so I mean the people didn't seem that strange. The Five was really good. Could have been a tinge shorter, okay, a hair shorter. And I watched season 1 of Westworld for the first time. There have been more things. I have watched many more things, but they're escaping me right now. For my year outside spread, look at her, she's looking cute. I'm gonna update it for March now that the month is over, and I'm using a Polaroid zip printer, I think it's called. The color is weird, like it doesn't match the real photo, like in my mind's eye, well in my eye, but I can't find the little calibration thingy. So that's why I'm lightly gluing these down instead of peeling the back off the photo and sticking it directly on the paper. Because if I can reprint these later, I will. There's a little space to write down where I was, and I'm gonna fill that in later. Next spread is my favorite recipes, which I haven't filled out at all this year. And that's because I learned that I cook when I'm hungry. So the last thing I want to do is take more time to photograph food. As opposed to going outside, it's like, yeah, take all the pictures you want. You know what I'm saying? Look, this thigh meat. You gotta photograph the thigh meat. So I've been writing down the dish in pencil, and hopefully one day I'll just cook people a bunch of food and take pictures later. And now the final April flip through. Hope this video took up enough of your time if you were using it as a distraction, and I will see you on the internet somewhere. Bye!